Hello, welcome back. On this tutorial on how to make a jQuery plugin. Last time we finished, we wrote out the fade out function, and so now that the current image we add, the one called this image, now that has faded out, we would want to change its set index to back to default 98, as it's no longer visible. So we'll go this image. Oh, that's too many S's. Set index to 98. Keep everything in order. And then the picture that was underneath, so it's the first time we go through it, then it would be this one. This is now currently the visible picture. So we would change its set index to 99 to make sure that it's always on top. So we're gonna do next image, set index 99, like that. Yes, and that means to put everything back in order. Next image is now equal to this image, so we take this image equal to next image. I think that's it. And then we would need to define the next image after that. So what we did was we faded out this one, changed the set index back to 98. This one is now visible, and we changed its set index to 99. So now we would like to find out which image is gonna be hidden behind this one, and that's of course gonna be this one. So to get that one, we would have, as this is called this image, we would say this image next, and then we would get to this one. So this image dot next. We'll get that one, and then of course we have to show that image as well. Or else when we fade out this one, then it's just going to be a white screen. So that's why we want to show this one. So it's going to be show. Yes, I think that's it. So let's try and run it in our browser. So we need to add the code to do that. I should probably have written that before, but I didn't. So let's just write it fast here. This keyboard is driving me nuts. Yeah, we're gonna run the function upon our div, and it has an ID called slide. So slide, and our plugin is also called slide. So, and I want to pass it some. I want to customize it. So we're going to pass it a JSON string here, and I want to customize the duration just for kicks. So let's say I want a duration time of 4.5 seconds. Just making up here. Yeah, I know that my images are not. I know my images are not the default size of 600 times 400 pixels. So like we said here, so it's actually a good thing, because then we can use the customization thing. They're actually 800 times 400, so I could change the width to 800, and then it would match the size of my images. So width 800 pixels, and I don't think I need to customize anything else. Let's try it out, and cross fingers it works. And it doesn't. Okay, then there's probably some typo somewhere. Let's see. That looks fine. Let's see here. Oh, I called the whole function silt instead of slide, which is probably why it doesn't work. So let's try and see if it works now. Well, it partly works, except nothing is changing. Well, part of it works, so there must be one more mistake somewhere. Let's go and see. Let's look at the code. Oh, there's a $sign missing here. So if I don't have this $sign, then I'm making a variable called current image, which refers to the current image. But down here, when I make the CNS settings, I'm referring to a variable that doesn't exist. So, and it definitely doesn't refer to the current image. So none of the settings are being put on that image. So let's try this one. Let's see if it works. And let's wait 4.5 seconds, I guess. Yeah, it's changing. So it works, but it's always a good idea to see. It seems to be working just fine. It's the last image, so it seems to be perfect. And yet there's a white screen, which means there's a problem somewhere. Let's go and see. It must be down here somewhere. So oh, yeah, of course. When we define the next image, we are just defining it as the image that follows the current image. So if we are at this one, then when we define the next one, we just say next, which is this one. That's fine. And then this one we say next, which is none. There's nobody underneath this one. So we would get an index of -1. Normally, when you pass outside a list, you get an index of -1. So the problem here is that it doesn't go back to the first image. So we need some way to tell it that it has to go back to the first image when it's at the last one. And there would probably be various ways of doing that. But I think I'm just gonna make an if statement, a short version here. So if this image dot next, yeah, and then I'll use the index function. If that is what is that? If that's greater or equal to, what is the equal sign there? Equal to 0. Bear with me here. Yeah, if that's greater or equal to 0, then it means that we are not at the last image yet. That means that we are at one of these images. If the index is not greater or equal to 0, that means that it's less than 0. In this case it would be -1. Then it means that we're at the last image, like that one. And then we would like to do something else. Then we would like to go to the first image. And now we're going to do that. Well, we have the variable here which refers to our div, so we could use that one. Yeah, we could actually use exactly what it says here. I think it would be the same thing, so let's just copy that. Maybe there's an easier way, I don't know. But let's just copy paste that one. I think that should do it. Let's check it out. So we say if next image dot index is greater than or equal to 0. If that's the case, then we just go to the next image. If it's not the case, well, we take our div, go to the first image in that div. So now it should, I hope, go back to the first image. Let's test it out, see what happens. I'm getting hungry. So I think it must be working. That's the last image, so let's see. Yeah, it works. Okay. So there you have it. It's a plugin for jQuery, and it makes a slideshow. So that's basically how you do it. And there's various things you can do with jQuery plugins. You have something you need on your homepage that needs to do something specific. Sometimes it's you find something that you find that you use a lot, and you often use jQuery, then it's useful to make a plugin like this. And also it's a good way to learn about coding, I think. So I hope you got something out of it, and thank you for listening. Bye bye.